This story is not mine. It belongs to a man from China, a stranger whose pain spilled onto a corner of the internet that most people would scroll past without stopping. I found it one night while wandering through threads of confessions and regrets, and something about the way he wrote pulled me in. His words were not polished, they were raw, jagged, the kind of words that come from someone who has been broken so thoroughly that he no longer cares how his story sounds. I decided to tell it here because, once I finished reading it, I knew it was not something that should vanish into the noise of forgotten posts. He began simply, with a confession of suffering. I suffered for at least half a year, and now I am finally ready to push her into the deepest abyss of hell. Those were his first words. Not an introduction, not a warm memory of love, but the language of torment, of a man who had lived too long in silence. His suffering was not physical, it was betrayal, the kind that eats away from the inside, one slow bite at a time until there is nothing left to protect you. He met her years before, back in 2006, during a vacation. He saw her for the first time on a trip and swore to himself that he would not let her slip away. There was no hesitation, no doubt. He promised he would make her his, and in time, he succeeded. He poured everything into her, every drop of love and devotion he could summon. He wrote that he did not just love her. He loved her with a purity that bordered on madness, with a loyalty that refused to crack. His devotion was almost religious. He believed she would be his salvation, his family, his future. But he also worked a job that demanded constant travel, weeks away from home, sometimes months, coming back with bags full of exhaustion and a heart full of longing. He admitted that distance was always a weakness, and while he tried to make up for it with calls, messages, small gifts, the truth was that absence breeds doubt, and doubt breeds secrets. He never wanted to admit it, but in hindsight he saw it clearly. For a long time he convinced himself nothing was wrong. Love makes you blind when you want it to. He ignored the signs, her sudden defensiveness, the way she clutched her phone when he walked into the room, the late nights she claimed were spent working. Even when her laughter felt too sharp, too hidden, he told himself it was his imagination. He wanted to believe in her more than he wanted to believe in reality. The truth came in the most ordinary way possible. He had an old email account he barely used, a dusty corner of the digital world he checked maybe once a year. One day, by chance, he opened it. Inside were hotel receipts, places he had never been, rooms he had never booked. At first he thought it was a mistake, a clerical error. But the more he looked, the clearer it became.